Welcome everyone. In our previous session, we have derived the equation of thermal efficiency of Brayton cycle. Now in today's session, I would like to brief you about the condition of maximum efficiency, or you can say condition for the maximum work done. So let's begin our today's session. So to start the derivation of condition for the maximum work done, we need to plot TS and the PV diagram, because the TS and the PV diagram are the foundation of the Brayton cycle, or you can say to understand the gas turbine cycle thoroughly. Okay, it is the one of the prerequisite, or you can say it is the foundation. Okay, so let's discuss the TS and the PV diagram first, and then proceed toward the derivation for the condition. Okay, now in TS diagram you can say we have four different processes: 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 1. 1 to 2 process is isentropic compression process. Here we are dealing with the theoretical cycle, which means we need to assume all losses equivalent to 0. That's why whenever we are dealing with the compression and expansion process, at that time we need to consider the compression and expansion both process to be isentropic in nature. Okay, so 1 to 2 is isentropic compression. Okay, so to solve the isentropic compression process, we need to plot one vertical path on TS diagram like this, during which entropy remains constant. Okay, 2 to 3 is the heat addition process. As we are supplying heat, temperature is increased while the pressure remains constant because of the indirect contact heat exchanger. So 2 to 3 line on TS diagram is indicate the combustion process during which pressure remains constant while temperature increase. Okay. Now 3 to 4. 3 to 4 is the expansion process. Okay. And as I told you, we need to assume expansion to be isentropic in nature because we are dealing with the theoretical cycle. And 3 to 4 is isentropic expansion during which entropy remains constant. That's why we need to plot 3 to 4 vertical line on TS diagram. Then after 4 to 1 is again heat rejection process which occur inside the heat exchanger. And in heat exchanger, the pressure of fluid remains constant, okay, while temperature reduces because of heat rejection. That's why we need to plot one inclined path 4 to 1 like this, which shows the temperature reduction process at constant pressure in heat exchanger. Okay, so it is all about the TS diagram. Now we need to plot PV diagram. To plot PV diagram, we need to correlate each and every process of TS diagram. Okay. To plot PV diagram, we need to correlate each and every process of TS diagram. Now just to observe TS diagram, in TS diagram 1 to 2 is compression process, particularly isentropic compression. During the compression, pressure increase, okay, temperature is also increased while volume reduced. So we need to plot one curvature path on PV diagram like this 1 to 2, which indicate increment in pressure while decrement in volume. Then after observe 2 to 3 process on the TS diagram, you can say 2 to 3 is the constant pressure heat addition, okay, during which temperature increase while the pressure remain constant. So we need to plot one horizontal line on PV diagram which indicate the heat addition process during which pressure remain constant while the temperature is increased. Okay. Then after 3 to 4, 3 to 4 process is expansion process. During the expansion, pressure drop while volume increase, temperature is again reduced. So we need to plot one curvature path 3 to 4 on PV diagram like this, which shows the pressure reduction while the increment in volume. Okay. Then after 4 to 1, okay, is heat rejection process during which temperature reduced, pressure remain constant. Okay, volume is also reduced based on the different gas law. Okay, so you need to plot horizontal path 4 to 1 like this. okay, which show on the PV diagram. So it is all about the representation of different process on the TS and the PV diagram, and you need to keep all the diagram in your mind, whether it is TS or PV. Okay. So it is all about the presentation of the Brayton cycle on TS and the PV diagram. Now, based on this diagram, we need to proceed toward the derivation of condition, okay, which is required to maintain to obtain the maximum work done. Okay, so before going to the derivation of the maximum work done condition, okay, just derive the equation of work done. You can say net work done is nothing but the heat supply minus heat rejected. Just apply simple thermodynamic law. Okay, based on the law, you can say the work obtained from the cycle, okay, or you can say work output during the cycle is heat received minus heat rejected. Here, supplying heat to the combustion chamber, okay, that is nothing but MCP T3 minus T2. T3 is the temperature of gas after the combustion, while T2 is the temperature of gas at the entry of combustion chamber. So net heat supply in combustion chamber is MCP T3 minus T2, while heat rejected heat exchanger is equal to MCP T4 minus T1, where T4 is equal to the temperature of gas after leaving the turbine, or you can say temperature of gas at the entry of heat exchanger, while T1 indicate the temperature of gas at the entry of compressor or temperature after the heat exchanger. So based on this, you will get this type of expression. Now, in order to simplify it further, okay, you need to solve this equation like this. Okay, that is MCP T3 minus T4 minus MCP T2 minus T1. Why I am doing this? Because you can say the net work done is nothing but the turbine work minus compressor work, and turbine work is what? MCP T3 minus T4, and compressor work is what? You can say MCP T2 minus T1. Okay. So it is all about the work done. Now, in this equation, you can say there are the number of variables that are directly affect the turbine work. Okay, for example, T1, T2, T3, T4, and specific heat and mass flow rate. Okay, so to reduce the number of variables, we need to simplify this equation, and to do so, just take out T3 as a common from the first term and T1 from the second term. So you will get this type of expression: MCP into bracket T3 into bracket 1 minus T4 by T3 minus T1 into bracket T2 by T1 minus T1. So you will get this type of expression. Okay. Now we need to further simplify this equation in order to obtain the condition for the maximum work done. From the thermodynamic, we know that the T2 by T1, or you can say T3 by T4 is equal to the R raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. Okay. So based on this, we are simplifying our main equation, and to avoid the more confusion and complexity, okay, just assume gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equivalent to Z. Okay. So we have this type of expression with us. Work done is equal to the K into bracket T3 into bracket 1 minus 1 upon Rp raised to Z minus T1 into bracket Rp raised to Z minus 1, where K is the constant which show the product of mass flow rate multiplied by specific heat, which generally remain constant. Okay, because it does not affect the work done. Okay. Now, in this equation, you can say the number of variables that are directly affect with the work done, or you can say that are in this equation, you can say the number of factors that directly affect the work done are T3, thereafter pressure ratio Rp, and T1. Okay, we are ultimately reducing those variables from 4 to 3 just by simplification. Okay, so now to obtain the condition for the maximum work done, we need to differentiate above equation with respect to R. So try to differentiate and obtain the condition for the maximum work done. Okay, so just please simplify this equation by performing the differentiation with respect to Rp. So after the differentiation, you will get this type of expression: dW by dRp, okay, is equal to k into bracket T3 multiplied by Z divided by Rp raised to Z plus 1 minus T1 Z multiplied by Rp Z minus 1 is equal to 0 for the maximum. Because in our mathematics we have studied that how to obtain the maxima and the minima condition. To obtain the maxima and the minima condition, we need to differentiate particular equation and we need to equate it with 0. Okay, so after the differentiation, we have this type of expression. Okay, now simplify this equation and you will get the expression like this: Z T3 divided by Rp raised to Z plus 1 is equal to T1 Z multiplied by Rp raised to Z minus 1. Okay, again simplify, you will get Rp raised to 2 times Z equal to T3 by T1. Okay, now further simplify, you will get Rp is equal to T3 by T1 raised to gamma upon 2 times gamma minus 1. So this is the condition for the maximum work done. Okay. If you maintain the pressure ratio which is equivalent to this, then we will get the maximum work done from the cycle. And once we have maximum work done, it means but obviously the efficiency is going to be improved. So it is all about the condition for the maximum work done. So in today's session, we have derived the condition for the maximum work done. So it is all about the today's session.